You can see I've done a little more work here. And this is all blob brush and eraser working in tandem with each other. So you can get a lot of work done with these tools quite easily. And I've saved this illustration as suchagoodboy.ai. There's no reason for you to open it. It's just background art for this movie, in which I'm going to suggest that we change a few keyboard shortcuts. You can do it or not. It's totally up to you. And you can always go back to the old keyboard shortcuts. So we're not making any sort of long-term commitment. This is the thing, though. We're going to be using the blob brush and the eraser together, back and forth, over and over again. So it'd be great if they had better shortcuts than Shift-B and Shift-E. It'd be better, for example, if they were B and E instead. After all, B is assigned to the paintbrush tool, which is a tool that you will be using in Illustrator, but not nearly as often. And then E is assigned to the free transform tool. Meanwhile, we're also going to be taking advantage of the shape builder quite a bit, and its keyboard shortcut doesn't even make any sense. And I'd like to give it a single letter keyboard shortcut as well. If you're with me, here's what you do. You go up to the edit menu and you choose the keyboard shortcuts command. Right away, you should see the shortcuts for the tools. If you don't, if you see menu commands instead, just go ahead and switch to tools. And then we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. Go ahead and scroll down this long list of tools until you come to the shape builder right there. Click on its keyboard shortcut. Now, here in a PC, you're going to have to click on that shortcut twice to really make it active. And then I want you to press the L key in order to change the shortcut for this tool to L. Then Illustrator is going to tell you, hey, that's already in use by the ellipse tool. That tool will no longer have that keyboard shortcut and so forth. Well, what you should do is go to the conflict. In other words, switch back to the ellipse tool. And I'm going to scroll up a little bit here so that you can see the rectangle tool has a keyboard shortcut of M. So it makes all the sense in the world that the ellipse tool should have a keyboard shortcut of Shift-M, since it's the next most popular shape tool. And that, by the way, is a keyboard shortcut that is by default assigned to the shape builder. So we're just trading the two. Then go ahead and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the blob brush. Click on its keyboard shortcut twice if necessary to make it active, and then press the B key. And then you're going to be told there's a conflict here as well. Go to the conflict, which is the paintbrush right there. Click on its keyboard shortcut and press Shift-B for it, since it's the least popular of the two, in my opinion. Now I'll go ahead and click on the Eraser tool's keyboard shortcut. I need to click on it twice to make sure it's active. Press the E key to change its shortcut to E. Then go to the conflict by clicking on the Go to Conflict button. That's the free transform tool, which between you and me, I never use. I just never, ever use it. But if you think there's a chance that you might, then just go ahead and give it the keyboard shortcut of Shift-E. And you actually press Shift and E on the keyboard, by the way, for that. Now you can just go ahead and click the OK button, at which point Illustrator is going to ask you to save the key set. So in other words, it wants you to name your custom keyboard shortcuts. And I'm going to call mine D keys, which is what I always call my shortcuts. But you can call yours anything you want. And then I'll go ahead and click OK. That means that if I go over to the blob brush, it has a keyboard shortcut of B. The eraser tool has a keyboard shortcut of E. And the shape builder, which we'll be using quite a bit in this chapter, has a keyboard shortcut of L. And those less frequently used tools have keyboard shortcuts that include the Shift key. If ever you feel uncomfortable with that and you want to go back, then you go up to the Edit menu and you choose the Keyboard Shortcuts command. And you change the set from D keys, in this case, back to Illustrator defaults. And you essentially wipe the slate clean. You're back to the default keyboard shortcuts. And then, of course, if you change your mind after that and you want to come back to D keys or whatever you called yours, you can select them as well. So it'll always be there, ready and waiting for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click OK to accept that change. All right, we've managed to change our keyboard shortcuts for some of the most popular tools in the software. In the next exercise, we will set about drawing the shapes inside of this tile design.